Hi, I'm James Hamilton from Stumpy Nubs Woodworking Journal, and this is our monthly-ish Cool Tools video. These videos are all about tools that I use and you might enjoy having in your shop. Sort of like show and tell for woodworkers. This time we have a clever little jig for checking your table saw's alignment. We have a way to sort your drill bits and other stuff without straining your eyes. A mechanical pencil everyone keeps asking me about. A cross between a compass and a measuring tape. A new router table. And our cheap tool selection is a self-centering punch that I just can't seem to do without. As always, if a tool comes from a sponsor, we disclose it at the beginning of the video. Otherwise, I bought them myself. If you'd like to learn more about any of the tools in this video, please use one of the links below. Just click on Show More below the video if you're on YouTube. We really appreciate it when you use these links. It doesn't cost you any more if you buy after clicking on one of those links, but Rockler or Amazon gives us a few cents for sending you to their website. And that's how we support all of these free videos that we produce. Not just the tool videos like this, but all of the useful tutorials that help you to improve your shop and your woodworking skills. We put out usually several videos a week. A lot of YouTubers ask for donations through PayPal or through Patreon, and people have suggested that we do that. But frankly, I'd rather you get something more in return. Not just the videos, but by using the affiliate links, you get the product that you buy, and it doesn't cost you more to support us doing it that way. So please use those links. In fact, I'm putting a generic link for Amazon and one for Rockler in those notes. I would really appreciate it if you would save those links to your favorites or your bookmarks on your web browser. And then anytime you go to Amazon or to Rockler, doesn't matter what you're buying, toilet paper or tools, use that link. Then they'll give us a little bit of credit for sending you to their website, and you not only get your stuff, but you're helping to support all these free woodworking videos. And I really, really appreciate that. When was the last time you checked your table saw's alignment? If the blade isn't parallel to the miter slot, your saw has to work harder, it'll produce a rougher cut, and it could even lead to dangerous kickback. The most precise way to check a saw's alignment is with a dial indicator. The problem is you need a way to hold the dial on your saw so it will move along the miter track. There are some pretty expensive jigs out there, and I've seen some people come up with some homemade options that work to different degrees. But Master Gauge has developed one from high-impact plastic that's pretty affordable and easily adjustable to fit just about any saw with around a 3/4 inch wide miter slot. And it comes with a high-quality dial indicator, which accounts for most of the price. It's called the Super Bar, and here's how you use it. First, you should clean your miter slot with a dry cloth. Then adjust the set screws nearest the ends of the bar. These force the body to expand to fit your saw's miter slot. When the fit is nearly perfect, adjust the center set screw to take out that last little bit of play. If the bar sticks in the slot, back the screws off. You want it to move smoothly and easily, but not rattle side to side. Once I have it set up for my saw, I can attach the dial, which comes with the bar, and I'm ready to go. I also like to make sure the arbor flange is clean, so I know the saw blade is going to be flat against it. If crud is built up on that washer, it'll affect our readings later. As long as I have the blade off, I may as well check my flange for runout. It may affect the quality of my cut too. Looks like my runout is not more than plus or minus 1/1000th of an inch or so. That is excellent. Now let's move on to the blade's alignment. As I zero out the dial, I apply a little pressure with my fingers on the bar, lightly pressing downward and toward the blade side of the miter slot. High quality dial indicators like this one are very sensitive. You can see how the dial will move several thousandths of an inch with just light finger pressure on the side of the blade. So as I move the bar in the miter slot, I only pull on the end. I don't pull on the dial. Even slightly twisting it can affect the reading. You can see my saw is well out of alignment, about 5/1000ths of an inch, so that was kind of a surprise. Just to be sure, I return to the starting point, which still reads 0, so I know the gauge is giving me consistent and accurate readings. That's the downside to the Master Gauge Super Bar. It's likely to tell you you have to spend a little time retuning your saw, which is what I had to do. I'll put a link to it in the notes below this video. This little gadget is one of those things you don't know you need until you get one and you fall in love. At least that's how I felt when I got my hands on the snap thickness gauge from chipsfly.com. It's a really simple idea. It just measures how thick things are. like drill bits and router bits. Why don't they ever clearly label these things? I sometimes use it to measure joinery, like tenons or the thickness of a piece of plywood that I want to cut a dado for. I use it sometimes to measure dowels, so I can get a drill bit that'll match whatever size it's shrunk down to. You can use it for just about anything you would use a set of calipers for. But unlike many calipers, the snap thickness gauge features a large, easy-to-read display that shows decimals, fractions, or metric. And it fits much better in an apron pocket. It's kind of a tool of convenience that you'll find a million uses for around the shop. iGaging makes a lot of really clever or digital tools like this. You should check them out at the link in the notes below this video. I decided to put this little guy in the video because people see me using it on film and they ask me about it all the time. So this is the Pentel Graph Gear 1000 and it's the best mechanical pencil I've used in the shop. Not only is it of very high quality, everything is metal, it's comfortable to hold and use, but it also has a retractable point. Don't take that little feature for granted. You know how when you get done with your pencil, you got to push the button and push the lead back up inside to protect it? This one, when you pinch on the clip, the entire point retracts up inside. When you push the button again, the point emerges and the lead is just as you left it. That means I never have to worry about my lead anymore, because as I slip this thing in my apron pocket, I automatically pinch that clip and it retracts the pencil point back up inside. I also like that it comes in 5 different lead sizes, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.7, and 0.9. For woodworking, I think the 0.3 and 0.4 break a little too often, so maybe they're a little too fine. The 0.5 is what I use for marking my joinery, like dovetails. And while I have been using the 0.7 for most of my day-to-day marking, I'm changing over to the 0.9 because that's a little bit tougher, a little more durable. So, in my opinion, the ideal set would be 1.5 and 1.9. Of course, sometimes I need an even more durable point for marking rough lumber, project parts. In that case, I keep one of these lead holders in my apron too. This one's my favorite. It's from Art Alternatives and it holds a 5.6 millimeter lead that lasts forever and it just will not break. The mechanism works smoothly, it's comfortable to use, it's just a rugged marking tool that gets the job done. I'll link to both these pencils in the notes below this video. Check them out. This is what you get when a measuring tape and a compass love each other very much. It's called a rototape, and it's a retractable beam compass. There's a lead on one end and a point that slips through the body. You can use it to draw circles and arcs up to 12 feet in diameter and then slip it in your pocket when you're done. You can also use it to mark a line parallel to an edge. This is a great layout tool for job sites, DIY construction, that sort of thing. I even recently saw Izzy Swan using one in a project video, so I know I'm not the only one that likes them. I'll put a link to it in the notes below. You've probably seen this next cool tool in our router tutorial videos because we've been using it for quite a while now. I often get questions about it, so let me give you a quick tour of the Rockler Pro Router table. It starts with a thick phenolic top. This is different from the typical MDF or particle board laminate tops that you see on router tables. Phenolic is a rock-hard acrylic material that won't sag or warp over time, and it will not absorb any moisture at all. So it makes for a more durable, more stable top. In the center, I have one of their all-new Pro Lifts, which won the 2018 Wood Magazine Innovate Award because of their unique dual dials and 4-to-1 gearbox that makes super fast adjustments possible with one dial, while the second dial is used for very precise fine-tuning. I also like the push-button center ring release, and I like how the rings themselves are milled from aluminum. The fence is also made with an aluminum body, and it features adjustable faceplates that can be easily swapped out to make homemade custom zero-clearance fences. Beneath the table, I mounted one of Rockler's steel dust buckets to enclose my router and provide both upper and lower dust collection. For now, I have it all mounted to one of their steel stands, but in a future video, we'll be modifying this whole setup for mounting it between our table saw rails. I've been using the Rockler Pro Router table setup for quite a while now, and I've been really happy with it. I'll put links to all the various parts in the notes below this video so you can check them out. Finally, for our cheap tool, we have this self-centering punch. This is an essential tool in my opinion. It has a tapered end that ensures that the spring-loaded point will mark the precise center of any hole as long as you hold the punch perpendicular to the workpiece when you strike it. I used this in a video a few months back to align the holes on a router plate, and people were quick to point out that there are self-centering drill bits on the market that do the same thing, and that is true. But those bits only come in a few different sizes, and I've run into situations where I needed a different size than the self-centering drill bits that I had. This punch is like $5, and it will work with any drill bit you want to use. So it is really worth having one for those situations. I use it actually all the time. I'll put a link in the notes below this video so you can check it out. One more thing before we wrap up. I wanted to tell you about a project I did earlier this year with the folks at Woodsmith Magazine. It's an online course that's called Table Saw Basics, but it covers way more than that title suggests. You're going to learn everything from table saw safety and accessories to full-on joinery and loads of tips and tricks. Pretty much everything you need to know about a table saw. It's divided into 6 20-minute episodes that we filmed on the iconic set of the Woodsmith Shop PBS show. I wrote it, they filmed and produced it, and the result is just amazing. There is a charge for it, but I really think it's worth the price. I'll put a link to it in the notes below this video. Just click on Show More if you're on YouTube and check that out. You're going to enjoy it, and I would really appreciate it too. That wraps up this edition of Cool Tools. Remember to use our links to check out these tools for yourselves, and save those generic links for Amazon's homepage and Rockler's homepage to your favorites in your web browser so that you can use them anytime you shop on those sites. That helps support us, and I cannot thank you enough. For more great tips, tricks, and tutorials designed to make you a better woodworker, check out Stumpy Nubs Woodworking Journal. You can read and subscribe for free at stumpynubs.com.